Welcome, welcome. We are here. We are live. We are back. I thought I was ready to do this thing. Hold on. Let me see if I need to check something real quick. Welcome, welcome back to Momentum, our virtual conference. What I am going to do is share some strategies with you when it comes to your digital marketing and sales. Today, we actually have guest panels, so I'm super excited about that. I've got some awesome business besties in the community who are going to be hanging out with us so that we can essentially share how you can put yourself out there when it comes to creating brand products as well as hosting virtual events. So, yay. I'm excited about today. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in, come on into the virtual building. Of course, let me know who you are and where you are via this virtual experience today. If you're catching us on the replay side, you know I like to say you can always drop into the comment box, hashtag replays rock. So I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to come in so I can tell you a little bit about the Momentum Virtual Summit #1. Tongue-tied. The peaks. I definitely am tongue-tied. I've been doing this thing since early in the AM, y'all, so forgive me. I can tell you a little bit more about the summit #1 and some of the awesome entrepreneurial business besties in my circle that are going to be hanging with us #2. So my goal is that over the next 3 days, we can talk about your content creation, monetization, marketing, and sales. Okay. In the AM sessions, we are talking about digital products and ideas as far as offers that you can produce, #1. And then in our afternoon sessions, #2, I'm jumping on here so that I can share with you how to implement, right? Today, we created digital products starting with audio offers and bundles. And then a little bit later, I'm going to show you how to do classes. But before we get there, in the in-between time, I wanted to have some amazing entrepreneur friends jump on here and talk to you about their experience when it comes to creating digital products and virtual experiences. Okay, so let's do it to it. I am going to add one of the lovely ladies in the Sister Sense circle into the virtual building. Hey, Tiffany, how are
Hi,
you
hi.
today?
Good. Thank you. How are you?
I am awesome. So, of
Awesome.
course, when I decided to do the summit, I wanted to be able to showcase some amazing women in very different industries. And I wanted to talk about the virtual products, services, events that they put together. So before I jump in, first, Tiffany, can you introduce yourself and your brand as we talk about hosting virtual events and branding products today?
Okay. I am Tiffany Cincino Bills. I'm a therapist and a relationship coach, and I help married couples and couples in long term relationships learn how to recommit to one another by learning healthy communication styles and learning what it takes to have long term success in their relationships and also maintaining their family structures and being able to keep those intact. So, I enjoy working with couples and, the challenges, the ups and downs, and just keeping everyone together.
Absolutely. Now, I know you have your private practice. You work with people in real time, offline. You can talk a little bit about that, but then we can talk about some virtual experiences that you offer as well.
All right. Well, on a therapy side, right, I do have my own practice. I have a group practice. And so I work with people from all walks of life. I'm highly trained in trauma and, cognitive behavioral therapy and training. So, really helping people to change their mindset and shift how they view things.
Yeah.
So that's on the real time, face to face, virtual as well. And then on the virtual side, more so creating events, so summits I've done, as well as coaching clients as well through the virtual space, and just having products such as a journal and just different tools that I can help couples connect with themselves and, being able to reunite, who they are and just get into a better place. So a lot of writing and just understanding and books about how to be better.
I love that. We do have a self-publishing session, and I'm going to try to showcase different products that the ladies have put together. I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't know if you have your relationship publication that you can share with us on the screen. If you do, great. If not, I'll make sure to bring it into the conversation when we get to that panel. But thank you, Tiffany, because I've got so much to share, and I want to share examples of your work. Let them know your brand, by the way. I don't think you mentioned your brand name.
I am the owner of Relationships on a Go, and my handle is on Instagram and TikTok at Relationships on the Go.
I love it. And then we have the lovely Miss Diva Lucina is in the virtual building. Let me see if I can get her on the screen as well. Yes. Hey, how are you?
I am doing amazing. Hi, my dear Miss Relationship. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I am doing good. Quite busy.
Been a little while.
Listen, honey, I was like, am I supposed to be on as well? I gotta put a little wow on me.
I said, Lucina's gonna come in the building when she come in the building. I ain't gonna rush nobody.
Because today, as what the work I do, even as Quality Diva with my journal, I am also the executive director of My Timing. And today, the third Friday of every month, I take our parents to a gym. So we had a workout this morning. Yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to run back. And I didn't realize I had this on my schedule. Crazy me. But so many wonderful things. We were so blessed to get a phone call from our Senator Chuck Schumer's office to bless us with a $500,000 grant to create our Parent Support Center.
Oh my gosh, that is huge.
Awesome.
Listen,
oh my goodness.
Listen, I haven't even shared the news yet, but you got it first.
You got it first, y'all.
But that has been such an awesome, the work we do, even though I talk about, I'm Lucina Clark. I am the author of Divas Discovery Journal. I call myself an elevation and self-care coach because it's about elevating these amazing women I work with in my life. My journey began as a specialist working with families of children with autism. And when I saw the way some of the mothers were treating themselves, feeling unworthy because you have a child with disability, not feeling as loved, not feeling as important, I decided to create the Divas Discovery Journal. So all these amazing women can start discovering, because the D is for discovering who you are. The I is investing in yourself. The V is variety of being open-minded to who you are. The A is for authentic, and S is for self. So by discovering who you are, you can create or transform yourself into this beautiful being emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and sexually, because people doesn't see sexuality as who you are, your energy that you bring into a room sometimes. So because of the love of working with these amazing moms, that created this in me to do something that they can transform themselves to these most beautifully, wonderfully made women.
Yeah.
And now we're working on the men, which is good. So being a part of this is so exciting, because even me, I'm on my own journey of discovery. Because after LaShonda and I left Fresh Start, I just transformed my whole life. Could you imagine? I'm up 5 o'clock in the morning, going to the gym 5 o'clock in the morning, and taking care of fabulous me. And I cannot be an example if I'm not doing it myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We all have our unique brands and individual tribes. I see the lovely turquoise blue is in the building. Rhonda, she says, congratulations, Lucina. It's just always a pleasure to get to hang out with these lovely ladies, especially when they come out to North Carolina and we have such a great time together. When it comes to talking about two things, hosting virtual events or in-person events, number one, and then creating your brand. I wanted these ladies to be able to come on here and share their unique experiences. So I'm going to kind of go like a round robin, so to speak, so we can
Okay.
talk about different things that you've worked on. And when it comes to virtual, right, the first thing that I have actually on the screen, and I'm going to see if I can pop that up, is one of the older stuff, because she's been doing this for a while, y'all. So here is an example of a relationship summit that Tiffany put together, and I checked in to support and kind of work on some of these pieces. Let's see if I can get that onto the screen and show you all what that looks like. The free summit. Now, this one you had multiple speakers, correct?
Yes.
And then in addition to having, how was it, just that one day, or did you have anything after that?
This summit was a one day. So we did it all day from about 9 to 5:30, 6 o'clock, right? Just going back to back on different things and just different topics around the relationships and what it takes to have healthy relationships. So we tackled communication, which is number one, right? Trust, just ways to connect. And so we just had different people speaking about different things. We even had a someone who who owns a house cleaning company, right? So a cleaning company talked about the importance of how if the home is clean, like that burden doesn't have to go on one partner, how you can replenish your relationship more. We had someone around health and the health considerations, as you were saying, Lucina, just the importance of health and how that impacts a relationship, oneself, and also the relationship and how we show up in a relationship. So that was definitely something that was great, to
And then
kind of
here's
work on and
another
get different
example
views.
of a
Right. And
summit
this
that
one
another summit.
was the, yes, couples and smart money moves. So it's all about healthy relationships and thinking of the importance of money and how we come together, because money is the second cause of divorce, right? In a marriage and also in relationships. And so just talking about different considerations when it comes to money, how to talk about money, right? How to have it more comfortable, and thinking of like past traumas around money and what we were raised with money, like those values, ideals, not speaking about it, or if you grew up in difficult circumstances, just scarcity and having that scarcity mindset, and how we can come together, especially in a relationship, and blend together, grow together, and have those common goals so that money does not become a course of discord, but something, you know, to fly with. So, yes.
Wow.
Now, we talked about summits. This is another good example. You have a free masterclass.
Yes, and that is Rekindling the Flame, 5 Steps to Reignite Your Marriage and Parenthood's Embrace. So really taking a step, and with this, we have an ebook as well, right? Just thinking about what it takes to reignite your marriage, like being able to come together. And as we talk about communication, trust, physical touch, as you were saying, Lucina, right? Sexuality, how we think of that, and just some of those different aspects, and how to just come together and learn how to reignite, and especially in parenthood, because as a parent, is that stress or that strain of trying to manage all the things, right? And maybe getting
Yeah.
all the things and none of the things done at the same time, right? Trying to manage everybody's schedule, your spouse schedule, your schedule, right? And all these different demands that we have. And a lot of couples don't recognize that when you have a child, like that's going to change the dynamic of your relationship, right? So it's really trying to understand, what does that mean, and how does your relationship have to shift? And it doesn't mean that it has to change drastically, but you have to shift the priorities that you have and how you come together to be able to blend together and really to be able to grow, right? Because
Now,
we're
I
parents who are
love
limited. Uh-huh.
I love how you're talking about this topic, because this is your industry, right? You're about relationships. You're about working on helping couples. I was about to say customers. Customers, that's me. Working with couples, right? And helping them do what they need to do, whether that be through a summit. Now, the first example, you had 2 different summits that you did, right? One was really geared towards money. So you think about your target audience, you think about your brand and how you can create different summits with different speakers or different themes, number one, and or host a masterclass, something that you do privately, number two. So when we're having this discussion, those of you watching, I want you to be able to glean from these amazing women and start working on your projects. Okay. Start working on the different types of things that you want to put together for your audience. Now, I do have some more questions for you, Tiffany. I'm going to come back to you in a second. Lucina, when we met, I heard about these grandiose events that you put on. And I know that in addition to working with women and taking them all over the world, you also create experiences where every single week, every month, you get together virtually with your tribe too. So can you talk a little bit about offline versus online and the types of events that you put on?
For the I like the online as far as the Facebook, because every Friday night I call it my favorite Friday, because that's the place where I can talk to my divas. I think they'll be my divagrams. I love the divagrams. I'm always coming with a crazy name or something, and that's the time I really connect with some of my online divas. Even men, I find a lot of divos are coming on now too. So I love that piece of that Facebook. But as talking to her on the summit, you just inspired me to continue doing that also, to create that free summit by doing this so you can still have an audience. So it's so great having these conversations. It also heightened my thinking about how can I do something else. Now, in connection with the ladies, like today, we did the exercise day. We just went this morning. I tell one of the things, the work we do, even as executive directors or even owners or business owners, or the work I do with these women, sometimes they don't even have time for themselves to even exercise or find a moment. So we meet and we work out at this beautiful gym here in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And we were there today just for 45 minutes. And to see the momentum, the high energy, the excitement, and the sweat, because the more you sweat, you get all this energy and this good vibe, and you're feeling your hormones is all sexy, and you feel good, and you drink your water. It is like amazing. So, as you were talking, remember when we were there, LaShonda, you had different templates for us. And one of the things I was talking about doing is the ultimate guide to living the best diva's life. And that's with the discovering, the investing, and everything. And what I started doing now, sometimes in the morning before I go to work, I pull a little piece of what I've written in the ultimate, which you have to look at in the ultimate diva's life, and talk a little bit about discovering who you are, before you go to work, because sometimes our morning is so hectic. And what do we do to calm ourselves down? So tonight in the online, we're talking about mindset, even focusing your mind to be on that level. So I have learned with the short time that I've known you, I have learned so much. I am so grateful and gratitude to the women that we connected with. And Tiffany, we have to reconnect, because we're going to have some relationship with my parents, girl. We're going to get them on that board. Oh, this is so wonderful, to be a part of, like a woman bonding, sisterhood, and enlightening each and every one of us in understanding our role. Because when we say whether customers or clients, how are we bringing our own mindset? How are we bringing our own energy to this forum? And, I love conversation like these. And then with this week being so awesome and amazing and just going places and connecting, like last night, Wednesday night, we got invited to this Ted Baker for London event.
Okay.
We're there. And I have to go with my face already made up and looking gorgeous. So when I go, I'm standing in the line because the guy is doing a glam score. He's like, "Why are you in this line?" I said, "Because I still need to touch up something. You never know."
Yeah.
Just being able to share like what you're doing, LaShonda, and empowering us women in understanding our own gifts and talents. And how do we need, by having that correct mentors or the right woman. Not every woman is for you, or every person.
Yeah, so, not every person. Yeah.
Yes. So doing this and being a part of this, you have just blessed me so much by allowing me to speak the truth of who I am in my own discovery. And I hope that as I speak to other women, they see the genuinity or the authenticity
Yeah.
in what the message that I put across to them. So I want to thank you and you ladies for inspiring me to do what I am doing now.
Now, we all drop our sauce in each of our own communities, right? And obviously, you taking your women to the gym or taking them to lavish events across the world, whatever you're doing, you're creating a space for them. And so, I want you guys to think about, whether you're watching live or on the replay side, 3 types of virtual events where either you're hosting it all by yourself, whether it's online or offline, or you're creating an experience where you have speakers, a summit, a conference, or you're thinking about creating events where you can potentially have guests, not just guest speakers, but you can do something like this where you have 1 or 2 people on a panel and do a discussion. So there's a lot of ways for you to consider creating virtual experiences for your audience. And sometimes you do like a one-off event, right? I'm doing this for 3 days. Or if you all decide, Tiffany does a summit for a few days, a one-off event, or 1 day. But then sometimes you can have ongoing experiences. So if you're listening, you got to be intent, because this is a conversation, but you got to pull out the parts. Lucina, she talked about being in a space where on Fridays, she has her calls on Facebook with her community. And then she also takes them out. They go to the gym. They have other activities. So what kind of events do you want to do as one-off, maybe signature things, once a year, twice a year? These ladies had the opportunity to hang out with me here in North Carolina. They came out for my Fire Start Your Year. I do that at the beginning of the year. So what are your branded seasonal offers? What are some things you're going to host by yourself? And then maybe other things that you consider hosting with other people. So when we talk about hosting things with other people, I want to ask you, Tiffany, when you were putting your virtual events together, what were you thinking about as far as picking speakers, and how did you work on reaching out with them, working with them? How did that work for you?
It worked well. Initially, I was a little nervous because I'm like, nah, I'm bringing everybody together. I'm not used to that, right? I got to go out and get people like, I know I'm used to being in spaces as we think of the physical spaces, and being able to connect with people and know people, but now going further outside of just my circle,
Yeah.
right? Or the people that I know and interact with. So, it was pretty good. I got really good positive feedback where I didn't think initially I would get as much, but it was really good just reaching out to people via email. Um, Sometimes I would send a DM through someone's Instagram, right? And just kind of connecting, but it was really about seeing the right fit, right? And thinking about what is their take on relationships, right? And so everybody has a dependent in the space, depending on what your focus is, you have a different spin on on relationships and different aspects that you're working on. So I was able to have different people. It was one person who has a relationship app, for example. It was one couple from that aspect. So it was just kind of different people in different spaces within relationships and who all promoted healthy relationships, but just in different ways. So that was a really good experience, just reaching out to people, just getting to know people too, and just some of those differences. And, just helps you to think differently when you're around other people, right? Just that support, right? Everyone was really supportive. And so just to think differently about it, it doesn't mean it changes my view of it, but it just helps me to have different perspectives from different people in a space, and those in relationships too, right? In marriages and how they maneuver certain spaces. So
I
that
have
part was
to
good.
I have to say that I absolutely agree with you, because one of the motivations for me, let me see if I can pop that onto the screen real quick. Backtobusiness.me is my virtual conference. And when I started creating these virtual events well over 10 years ago, my vision was, y'all don't want to just hear me. You don't want to just sit and hear me talk all the time. You want to get different voices, different perspectives.
Yeah.
So I want you all to think about who is in your tribe. Now, I reach out to people sometimes I don't even know. I'm just like, I like your vibe. I'm inviting you. Would you like to speak at my virtual event? Who are some people that are in your tribe that are doing things that are really interesting to you, that you would like their voices to be a part of your larger community, right? That's one thing to think about. And also, what are some things that you want to do as far as your brand is concerned on a consistent basis? So I'm going to ask Lucina, but I also, Tiffany, want you to answer this question as well. Is like for example, Lucina, you talked about your sessions that you do on Friday. What are some of the regular branded experiences that you create for your audience so they can have that as just consistency in your community on a regular basis?
Well, what I do, I always say my Eve of Favor Friday, I make sure I send out a post as well. See me at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live. So I always send it out. So even in the morning, I'm making a greeting. I remind them also. Also depends on what the session I'm doing. I'll say, okay, don't forget to bring your Divas journal with you. So that way, I'm giving them ahead what is going to be we're going to be speaking about sometimes. And I will sometimes say, DM me a question you want me to answer, or join me on Facebook. You can join the video. You can participate with me sometimes. So that is how I do. I introduce myself again to them. See you tonight, Diva Night, because Friday night is my favorite Friday. So I think the Favor Friday thing have stuck on so many people that it is really exciting. And what I've been doing now, I'm noticing, looking at you, LaShonda, and the things that you do and how you bring the things into light is starting to say more about my Diva book, or more about the Diva's going to be coming out. So that way they're expecting these things. And on a Friday night when we're talking, I really focus on how they want me to respond to them. Let's all have a conversation together, not just me speaking. In the comments, making sure they give me some feedback. I'll give them the feedback so they engage as well, because it's so important to have that engagement. But there's one person with you, have that engagement.
Yeah.
That has worked
Absolutely.
with me.
So right now, the platform that I am using is StreamYard.com. You can probably see the logo there that says StreamYard. And if you want to take a look at StreamYard through me, you can actually go over to sistasense.com/SY for StreamYard. Now, Lucina, you talked about using Facebook. So I want us to kind of talk about different platforms. What are some platforms you're using to communicate with your audience? Do you do Facebook groups? What are you doing on the Facebook platform?
I do Facebook. I have a Divas Facebook group, and I have my regular Diva regular Lucina Clark LLC, which is a business, and my Instagram, I have the Diva Lucina handle. But I'm loving this StreamYard. As I told you when I first met you, I am technically inclined. I do not know how to use most of these platforms, so I'm comfortable with whatever. So I'm like, as I see them, like, I'm gonna be hitting LaShonda on this StreamYard thing, because I love having more people and having a conversation. Because when you talk about summits, I do a lot of summits because as a professional educator, I do a lot of summits. I did one with the mayor, with the different spaces and people. But I love this. I'm feeling really comfortable sitting here, seeing the way this is set up, to even do once a month with my divas, living the ultimate divas life, something like this. I love it. And I will be
love that there's a new platform for you, right? I just love that. Always. I was like, call me. Now, Tiffany, when you've been doing your summits and virtual events, are you using these platforms, other ones? What are you doing to host your events?
Using different platforms. So I've used Free Conference Call. I used that for a while. It's not free, although it says free.
Zoom.
Yes, but a Zoom-like platform. So I've been mostly using those for everything.
Okay. And see, this is important because what you want to do is try different things. When I started my virtual events journey, I was using GoToMeeting.com. Right? And GoToWebinar. And these are platforms that are normally used by corporations. So they can easily put $100, $300 a month into the subscription and they're fine. And we were doing that in the beginning. And I said, you know what? There are other platforms out there that are more cost effective for me, right? Everybody knows about Zoom. I actually don't use Zoom unless somebody else invites me to their Zoom. But when it comes to stuff like this, I love using StreamYard, number one. And another one of my favorite platforms is Start Meeting, number two. So this conversation gives us an opportunity to real time talk about what we're doing, whether it be virtual events or branding, and then put the two together. Now, I do want us to talk about this big thing that actually Lucina introduced, which was mentioning to her divas, don't forget your journals. Do you have your journal? Can we see it? Do you have it close by? I don't know.
I have it. Listen, I see my grandkids just coming out. Let me go get it for me. My grand. I'm one thing. Ashton, come please. Yeah. I was just talking to someone. Do me a favor, Elena. Come please. Do grandma a favor. Quick. Go downstairs by the computer and you'll see grandma's journal, the Divas journal.
Oh, I know. That's like that.
All right, grandma's on.
You know when the babies know about the brand, that's all you need. That's all you need. Hey, sweet pea. Hey. I want you to think about that. Some of you have offers and you're trying to sell your offers, how events are a great way to sell your stuff. So for example, a traditional speaking event, let's say you're in a front of 100 people and you bring your book and 100 people walk away listening to you with your book in hand. It's sharing the two. Right.
So that is so great because I go to speak in the schools and stuff a lot. I always walk in a few in my bag in cute little bags, little sachets.
Yeah.
So I do pull it out. And it is so true because I always put an extra in my bag. I started ordering and keeping them in the house because it's a good platform also. It's a good conversation piece. Like somebody be on the plane, I'm like, oh my God, because the cover is so sexy, So when they look at it, it's like, oh my God, that seems quite interesting. So I like that idea. And even I have my Diva mug. I have a mug that when I'm doing my Facebook or if I'm doing Zoom, I'll be sipping my coffee and that. And like, oh, I like that mug. So that's another way I'm learning of being really out there in a nice, quiet way. Thank you, honey. I appreciate it. Love you. So this is it.
You have to be. You've got to be. Let's see. Yes, your Divas journal, which is available on Amazon. And I know the ladies, lovely ladies, all the ladies here have links and resources. I'm going to make sure that on our virtual summit page, you're going to get links to their sites, their books, their goodies. Okay. So make sure
and also that too, sorry, LaShonda. One of the things, she's working on my amazing website. So you'll be seeing it soon.
We've got the mini website right now, and then the mega that's going to come up next. Okay. Yes. But in between that, I want to make sure that all their links and their social media platforms are accessible to you. When you showed your Divas journal, it gave me the opportunity to put my Momentum journal planner on the screen. And I'm going to show it to you guys in large version because there's several versions. We're going to talk about this in about an hour when we talk about branding. Right now, we're talking about virtual events. But in addition to having, and I'm just going to pop it on the screen real big, real quick. In addition to having my Momentum 12-week workbook, I also hosted several trainings, literally every month for the last few months, so I could walk people through the things that are in here. So you all have books, you have workbooks, you have trainings. How are you integrating those things strategically into your virtual events? I think it's amazing that Lucina reminds her girls, her divas, make sure you have your journal so that you make the product a part of this experience. Okay. I need somebody to write that down. You need to make your products a part of your experience. So you're not just trying to sell those things one-off individually, but you're creating something that works together. And we just did a training on how to build a bundle. I just did that before we started this one. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. So either they're one-off products, or they're included as part of your virtual events, right? And then you teach within them as part of your trainings. Okay. So let's talk about the one thing as far as your virtual experiences that you are either enjoying right now or you're looking forward to doing with your community. Just one thing in particular that you either enjoy a lot right now or you're looking forward to doing in the future, because we're always trying new things.
Well, for me, the one thing I enjoy is, I think, is a conversational piece with your audience.
Uh-huh.
getting more of that, because I find when they do that, they're giving me insight on what I need to speak about to them probably the next week or even during the week when I'm having a hint to the good and favor Friday night. So I love when my audience interacts with me, because it's like I'm paying attention to who they are. I will call their name as well. Thank you, Jenny, for really participating. That was a good point. Thank you, John. Oh God, we have a guy with us. We have a Devo online, and I make sure I really appreciate them, because I think that's the way we have to nurture and not only want the person to buy your stuff, but to nurture a relationship that, which in the long run, at first I felt, oh my gosh, no one's gonna read it. But then as I realized, as I'm nurturing you, my audience, taking your feedback and bringing it back to regurgitating some things that you say, it brings success.
Now, there are two things that you just mentioned. Number one, they tell you what they want. Okay. You have to rack your brain a lot of times. If you just create the space, your tribe will tell you exactly what they want, which is why I recently released my Everyday Sales series, because I was on private calls with clients and they were like, LaJonda, I need you to help me with making these everyday sales. Okay. So that's number one. Think about that. What are things that your people are telling you? Number one. Number two, you said when you put out your book, you said, oh my God, I was worried. Is anybody going to read this? Right? Nobody's going to buy a product you don't talk about. Nobody's going to buy a product you yourself don't use. So you're trying to figure out, well, should I be doing TikTok dances? Should I be on social media? What should I be doing? You sell your product by using the product, becoming the product, integrating the product into your content. That's going to help it promote, right? That's going to sell it more.
Because one of the things,
store, but you want to not just wait for them to go to your online store. You want to put the content into your regular content more. What were you going to say?
One of the things I do sometimes, I'll have the book and I'll just say, okay, let's play peekaboo. I'll just open the page sometimes and I will read. I say, okay, today we're going to talk about self, me, myself, and I. I say, get your journal out. Let's get into that page. We could spend at least a half an hour talking about that. No, I want you to, I invented this word, journalize. Now I need you to journalize what we have been talking about and how does that make you feel. If not, you can DM me or you can send it to my email. And this is my email. And just go on. I say, well, my website is under construction right now, but you can use my email or DM me and we can have that conversation.
Now, listen, one thing that you said right there, all of you keep telling me you don't know what to post, you don't know what to say. It's inside your book. It is inside your book. You can literally pick a page and say, okay, we're going to talk about this today and we're going to do that for 30 minutes. Right? This is your cheat sheet. This is your cheat sheet. I was working with one of my clients, Cynthia, and after the she was like, okay, LaShonda, I just don't have the time because I want to make this and I want to do this. And by the time we were done, she said, I don't got to make nothing. I don't have to make anything. I have all of what I need right here. Now, I'm going to show you a few pages of Cynthia. This is the Restful Holidays Challenge that she was brainstorming, and we were working on a 14-day self-care challenge. So I want you to think about different types of events, either one-off, whether it's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, whether it's you hosting it by yourself or you have speakers. This is a challenge. She did that for 14 days, number one. Number two, very similar to Lucina, Cynthia has her own beautiful tribe. And so she has in-person events. She is the first lady of her community. And so she has in-person events, I would say pretty much every 2 or 3 months. So we have number one, her Remarkable Living Conference for this year, already up because people were early registering last year. She does it every year. So what are those seasonal offers, those events that you're going to do on an ongoing basis? So in addition to doing a 14-day virtual challenge, she has in-person events. I have in-person events as well. I think a lot of the ladies in the community have in-person events. Cynthia says that she is the first lady of tea. So in addition to talking about rest and self-care, she actually has her own tea brand. And again, we're going to talk about branded products in just a minute. And I'll take you over to her cheese shop if I don't forget today. Okay. But I want you to think about what are the things that you do? And you ladies, you can let me know as well for you. What are some things that you seasonally do in your business consistently, maybe every month, every year? And those are some staples in your business, similar to as I'm showing you here with Cynthia.
For me, I think I'm just starting. Remember when I said to you in January, I'm rebranding, reestablishing who I am as I get into it. Because I always love, even in my other hat as the director, I'm always doing in-person summits, because we do like every 3 months, something on autism, something on, like April is coming up. We're having our autism awareness. We're having incorporating an art show, an art exhibition, and people are coming in. We're having a light out. So that way I'm bringing people into the space so they can see the work we're doing. So hopefully they can continue supporting us. And I think what I'm seeing here is me looking at what step I need to go further.
Yes.
Just get out there.
And that's something you got to think about as well. Like you mentioned Autism Awareness Month. You've got to think about things that you're going to do as part of your signature brand and things that you're going to do in relation to the larger community, right? Nationally, globally, that we do because they are special interest events. And you want your personal brand to be a part of larger movements, right? So you've got your own personal movements and you've got larger movements. Here is Cynthia's shop, where you can see her branded tees. And she said, LaShonda, this is where the brand is going. So her brand is Remarkable Living, right? And so she said, okay, it's going to be Remarkability, TEA at the end. I was like, yay! I love it. But I'm going to make sure that you have links to all of these ladies' websites. Make sure if you're not registered for our summit, you go to sistasense.com/summit so that you can register. Now, I know I'm dropping several questions on you guys simultaneously.
That's okay.
Same for you, Tiffany. When it comes to your business, are there certain types of virtual events that you enjoy doing or plan to do in the future? That was question number one. And then number two is, are there just certain signature things that you've added to your brand to do that on a regular basis?
Yes. So one thing would be the summits, right? Because there's so many different aspects of relationships. So doing those at least 3 times a year, right? So just being able to break those up, just to be able to have different things, and as well as the master classes. So keeping it in rotation, right? As far as the different master classes that I've done, and just being able to rotate them out, because they are significant and they always come up, right? There's always something new with it. As we think of money, right? There's something new that comes up with money, or a way to think about money, or a way to incorporate things. And as we think of secrets to healthy relationships, which is the branding of the summits, like there are different secrets to healthy relationships, right? And so it's hard to get it all, even in our lifetime, probably as we evolve and change, just being able to identify those different things, and, just having those different perspectives on what it means to have a successful relationship and how to keep that ongoing. And in the near future, I'll have my coaching program, so which is Recommit to Reconnect, as well as my in-person in Virginia Beach area. So as the weather gets nice, right, just coming to be able to learn, for couples to learn how to recommit, right, and reconnect to their relationship and being able to be on. So that is my signature, once a year in person, just being able to come together and just make it a nice fun-filled weekend of just reconnecting.
And I love that you talked about having certain topics that you kind of cycle through, because these topics are things that we experience naturally all the time. Some of you are like, oh my gosh, I need to create something new. No, you don't. You either need to pull it out from your book, or you need to have certain signature things that you cycle out maybe every couple of months or every quarter. And think about Recommit to Reconnect. Love that brand. Think about some things that you're going to do consistently, whether it be once a year, twice a year, with your community. Okay. So I see the lovely Adonia is in the building. She says, I love the energy and excitement, ladies. Make your product part of the experience. That is a priceless tip. Yes. What you're going to find is these discussions are just great for us to just relax and talk business, You
Yeah.
pull out the learning lessons, right? Because in order for y'all to be in business, you got to work with people who are
Is
doing the things that you want to do.
you know when
Okay,
Tiffany
so
spoke about taking, I remember when I came out the year when I came out with my diva, I remember I did
yeah,
this amazing retreat, where because I love to cook. My divas cookbook is coming out, so again, so I got a Airbnb space, and I invited 10 wonderful ladies. From the moment they walk in the door, the ambience, the experience. I had the table set in such a diva looking way. And, they just came and they just found the seat with their names and the tags. And they all sat and just had little light sips of drinks, that little wine and little fritzes, and just connected. And I love that. But now, since I have a other space, I can do that because I'm getting back into that again because I realize as women, we need to find a safe space that we can
yeah,
really connect without feeling, am I saying the right thing or am I saying the wrong thing? But in a
yeah.
space that whether you say the right or wrong, you're still supported. So I
Absolutely.
just
You want
love,
to
yeah,
create
perfect.
ambiance. I love that you talked about that word. That word is so important because creating in-person events, like when you guys come to my event, I'm like, listen, we're in a suite, kick off your shoes, relax your feet. We're going to have the music in the background. We're going to work, but we're going to vibe and
Mhm.
make it an ambiance experience, right? You can do that virtually as well. There are two ladies who are going to be hanging with us. Lavon is coming today, and I think Yandel is coming tomorrow.
Mhm.
Yandel is the creator of Mommy Slays, and
Mhm.
Lavon is the creator of Live Vibrantly. And I'm trying to see if I can share on the page. I don't think I can do it this minute, but I'm going to get it there in a second. But my point being is both of these ladies have created virtual experiences with physical products. So, for
Yeah.
example, Mommy Slays, and I'll make sure again, everybody's links, you can see their products. Mommy Slays, she creates custom jewelry. So, kind of like an HSN style, she has virtual events where you can see her with the pieces and you can put your custom jewelry together, looking at the screen, seeing the pieces, and then she'll ship it out to you, right? And then Lavon, she's in a self-care space. She has virtual events, and she will say, okay,
Mhm.
when we're going to do the event, it's on this day, and I'm going to ship you out your products, okay? So here, for example, these are her self-care, her affirmation cards that I have on my desk right
Mhm.
here. You get your, for example, she'll have teas, she'll have a t-shirt, she'll have different prompts. And so when everybody's doing the experience virtually, they have their physical boxes. And she's going to talk
Mhm.
about her boxes when we talk about branding, probably in about 15 minutes or so. But it's a virtual event with physical content, right? So I want you guys to think out of the box. Hey, Angel, I love the hearts. Thank you. Thank you. I want y'all to think out of the box. Are you going to create some seasonal offline events for your tribe? Or when you're creating virtual events, how can you make it an experience?
Mhm.
How can you bring in that word that Lucina shared with us? Ambiance, right? So that, whether you are in some far off place or literally people
Mhm.
are in their own space at home, they're like, this is transformational for me,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
when it comes to virtual events, there are different types. You can do a conference, a summit, a workshop. You can do a virtual retreat. You can do a challenge. Is there one type of event in particular that you are going to look to doing in the future? Now, I know, Lucina, you said you like this StreamYard platform, so maybe some
Yes.
sort of a summit like this. What kind
Yes,
of a
I will
virtual
love
event
to.
would
What
you
I
share?
see is like having women with whether there's well for me when I sell my old champagne glasses and stuff, because sometimes you'll be surprised a lot of women doesn't like to hold champagne glasses or think it's like you could drink your water in a champagne glass to make it look like you're having wine or whatever spirits, and you can do that, creating that ambience. I want to do something where each of the ladies who are blessed with one of the journal can come on with their champagne glass or whatever, and we have like a sip and chat in that aspect. because it might be something in here you might be interested in, and can we bring it further out for you? What is one of the pages like discovering me? What did you see? What triggered you to think, you know what, I am priority right now, I need to do something? Well, we sit and we chat, because we do not have a lot of those spaces that we can really honestly talk and don't feel judged, just do it. And I normally do stuff. I remember 2 summers ago, I transformed my backyard, all my sexy pink looking things. And when the woman came up, we all had something called a pink drink. And we just sat in the backyard and talk about what it's like investing in your own self. How does it feel? What is your mindset? So I like the StreamYard, because I feel, even though you have Zoom, this seems more I don't know, really fabulous or something. So
well, one of the things about the StreamYard platform is that you can broadcast in multiple places. So right now I am on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can be on your page, you can be in a group, you can be on TikTok, you can be on LinkedIn, you can be on Twitter, all at once. So multi-broadcasting is definitely something that makes the process of you being in different social media at one time easier. And if you're curious about StreamYard, just write down sistasense.com/SY. So you can go there and try it out through your girl. Okay. If that's something you want to do. Anybody have the ability to drop that into the chat for me? I love you for free. sistasense.com/SY. Okay. Now, baby, she is in the virtual building. She just disappeared. Where did she go? LaVon was just here. I was about to put her on the stage, and she disappeared. I was like, wait, she's
coming in at 6, so I don't know what happened.
She's probably like, I'm early. No, come back on. Come back on.
This is so amazing.
And I'm gonna add to that, as far as, with my branding and really coming in is doing more the weekly. Like, I like the Facebook Lives. I'm not on Facebook as much, but just being able, because it's about education, right? And that's one of my points, is really driving that. If you don't know what a healthy relationship is, or healthy communication, or what it takes, then how can you know, right? And sometimes people say, you know better, you do better. But if you don't know better, you can't do better, right? So just being able to use some lives to kind of incorporate that a little bit more, really to educate. And also because people don't want to be seen, right? So in my work with couples, it's like usually, the male, right, maybe a little apprehensive to come in until we get in that space. And it's like this comfort that's there. So being able to have a space where you don't have to be seen, but you can hear. Right.
But now I think with like how LaShonda was showing us on doing our videos, you don't have to show the face. You can have the talking and having people have a conversation without being seen. Because one of the things I'm starting to with my man with the Devo, I have this one guy, he can't wait. I mean, he's so excited to wait so we can have the conversation. Where my husband was like, I don't want to be there. So, well, honey, I will have a second husband to do it with me. So, which is fine.
Because he said some of the men don't want to be visual. They want to be there, but not really there. They can just kind of hear. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. And I love that we have this opportunity to share our different ways of doing virtual, right? Because that helps people open up their eyes, they open up their ears, they open up their minds. ConvertKit is one of my favorite platforms for email marketing. They sent out an invitation. They said, LaShonda, we would love for you to join. We're doing a happy hour, right? And I'm thinking to myself, back in the day when I had my 9-to-5 job and we would go to BBQs and do a happy hour after work. Now you could do a virtual happy hour, right? So think about how you can create very interesting, unique virtual experiences that would mirror some of the kind of things that we would do in person for your tribe, right? I want to say, let me pause for a second. I want to say welcome to LaVon. Yay! LaVon, I can't hear you. You can I unmute you, or can you unmute yourself?
I just unmuted. Can you hear me?
I can. I can. Can you introduce yourself so that we know who you are and what you're up to today?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Yes, I popped in early, so I thought I was going to be in a waiting
You're
room.
good.
So good evening, everyone. I just rushed home from work, but I'm excited to be here. I'm Lavon Weaver, the Chief Encouragement Officer of Live Vibrantly, and I help women create space for self-care. So that's what I do.
I love it. I love it. We are going to transition from talking about virtual events to brand products. Okay. And I know that each of these panel sessions are just an hour long. And I know you guys have a lot to go, to do. So I'm going to let you guys do two things. Number one, share what you're up to and your website. If you want to stay, I love it. If you need to go, I got you because I understand. So Tiffany and Lucina, if you can share your websites and or you can tell them where they can connect with you. And of course, I'll make sure that those links are in the summit page as well.
Oh, well, hi, everyone. Thank you so much. It was such a vibrant, wonderful conversation with Tiffany, your relationship gal, and our coach extraordinaire, LaShonda Henry. I'm telling you, being a part of this is amazing. To find me right now, because some things have been under work, you can go to my Diva Lucina on Instagram and also go to Amazon for a Diva's Discovery Journal. I'm here to elevate you in your own self-care and yourself and understanding and becoming the woman that you need to be, or the man. So you can find me at Diva Lucina, and I am on Facebook live at 9 p.m. every Friday night, Good and Favor Friday. So please join me. Come on over. It's like really fun conversations about discovering who you are.
All right. Awesome. And I am Tiffany Cincino Bills again, and you can find me at relationshipsonthego.com. In addition to Instagram and TikTok, I'm at Relationships on the Go. And, come check me out, see what's going on. And it's all about reconnecting, connecting with your loved ones, connecting with your family stability. That is a passion of mine, just helping families come together. And as Relationships on the Go, I am on the go because I have to go pick up my kiddos. So we're on the go. So I'm going to go. But I thank you all. Love this conversation. And LaShonda is definitely a business bestie, and she is like, Tiffany, what's going on? Where you at? And I'm like, I appreciate that so much because, you get, when you're doing so many things, you get kind of caught up in everything that's going on. And so it's good to know, I feel a part of this circle and that, kind of shared community. So I appreciate that.
I'm going to stay on a little bit with my girl, Lavon, to hear what's going on.
All righty. Bye-bye.
I love it. I love it. Bye, Tiffany. We're definitely going to make sure that you guys can connect with Tiffany. I'm working on a mini website for Lucina, and I'm going to make sure that link is up so you guys can get her social media and click and see all the things. After the fact, we're going to make sure that that's on the virtual summit page as well. And so talking about creating your events, it just naturally goes into the conversation about brand products, right? Because you want to create a brand, you want to create an experience, right? So I want us to transition I'm going to show an example of one of the other ladies in the circle, Faye. So Faye hosted a virtual event, and I'm going to pop that onto the screen, and she's multilingual. So it was both with English and Spanish speaking participants all over the world. So she was like, LaShonda, you got to help me with this. It's different time zones, it's different people. I got to make this happen, right? So again, I want you to be able to think out of the box when it comes to your experiences, when it comes to creating a global event that people across the world can tap into, number one. And number two, I want you to think out of the box when it comes to virtual. You don't have to do one thing. So I did a virtual retreat last year, and we did our planners, and people didn't have physical planners. They were digital, but they were able to use something like GoodNotes and write in the digital, right? And I was just talking about Lavon. I'm so happy she's here. When she did several workshops, she actually shipped products out so that people could experience the physical as they were doing the virtual, right? So thinking out of the box when you create your experiences is something that I want you to do. LaVon, can you touch on those workshops that you did just a little bit? And then we'll go into other types of brand products.
Okay, thank you, LaShonda. So one of the things that I love to do is that I like to do the virtual workshops, but because I'm an educator, I like that hands-on feel. So whenever I do anything virtual, I always ship the ladies a little goodie bag that I hope that they don't open before the event. And so that is so much fun. So actually, when we do the event, we actually have, I'm going to call it like an unboxing or unveiling. So in that kit may be their journals, so, their affirmations and all those things that we experience together. And I just kind of find that the ladies having that physical and that virtual piece, it makes the experience so much richer.
It does, because
Absolutely.
I had the experience, LaShonda. When she did send it to me, of course, I support my LaVon because she supports me so much in when we do our diva stuff or even my ladies to gift them with personalized things that when they open the boxes, is like, this is so unusual. And it's so crazy. It's like she
Yeah.
doesn't know who these people are, but apparently when she creates whatever books, whatever is in it, it speaks to the person. So
Mm.
it is really, so any of you out there, when LaVon does that workshop and that box is mailed to you, you're really in the experience. Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
When we got them in January, when she came with our bags, everybody was like,
Yeah.
why does it smell so good? Like, what did you, what secret sauce did you put in this thing?
Oh,
It
gosh.
was definitely an experience for all of the senses,
Mhm.
and just beautiful. I actually want to put LaVon's products on the screen, her website. We've been lovingly working on Live
Yeah.
Vibrantly, the new version. And as I'm doing that, I want you to talk a little bit about some of these workshops and these hands-on experience. Can you give us an example of an activity that you would do virtually, but that it has that physical touch as well?
Okay. So the workshops that I like to do is I call them unboxing sessions. So I'll send the ladies a box. So what we'll do is that we'll actually put the entire box together. We'll build it together. So one of the activities that I'd love to do is I have these little branded, if you can see these little branded note cards. And so part of it is called a note to self. So we will actually in the workshop create a space to actually write ourselves these beautiful notes. And so when the ladies get their packages, one of the surprises in there is that they actually get a set of the branded note cards. And that's a nice activity that I love to do with ladies because I think when we talk a lot about self-care, sometimes we forget about
Yeah.
the simple things. And that's like writing ourselves, a love note and placing it near our bed. Or if you're like me, my cards travel to work, so they have a special bag and they travel to work. And sometimes while you're at work, you might need to pull this note out and read it. So that's one of the activities that I love. So I walk the ladies through how they can write just beautiful notes to themselves. And it's actually a way of kind of moving us offline sometimes to check in with ourselves. I know, LaShonda, you talk to us a lot about scheduling our one-to-ones, our check-in with yourself.
Uh-huh.
And these are just beautiful things. So that's one of the things that I do. I love having the ladies leave each session with a note card or just a letter to themselves.
Creating experiences where people in the moment have something that they can gain from you, but then they walk away with something too, right? So when it comes to your brand, what would that look like for you? Okay. Now, one of the things that I would love for us to touch on is future projects. Now, Lucina, you actually mentioned that you've got a great idea for a new guide to living that you're coming out with. And then you got divas, but you got divos, right? So
Yes.
talk a little bit about how you're expanding your brand moving into the future.
I think expanding the brand of the divas and the divo. I love shirts. I one of the shirts, a t-shirt, LaVon Reddy. Known LaVon for a while, and one of the, I was stuck on ideas. I'm like, what to write, what to do, how can I create? And she really came with a beautiful design for me as well. So my thing is seeing the t-shirts, also the mugs. So that way when you go, especially for the man, because I mean, you know, you're making a beautiful, LaShonda made me a beautiful cover for them. That I'm going to use that cover. Yes, that's like the Von I am. I'm going to use that grayish, that grayish color of the book till I can see it in a mug. I can see a man.
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah. That'd be nice.
So that is what I see as far as the mugs. I need someone always need that because sometimes I'm going to work or I'm going somewhere. I put my mug in my bag because when I go to a restaurant, go to a hotel, I take my mug so I'm sitting sipping my tea or whatever with it. So creating merchandise also will be really, really, really important. So that can make my brand. Hold on a second, my grandkids are going out. Excuse me, never tell them I'm on the thing. Oh my God, these grandkids.
You know the babies don't care. The babies are just like,
And LaVon is laughing because she knows. 6 of them are Shonda, 5 right now.
God bless you.
Oh Lord.
My house feels like 20 half the time. So God bless you. For that,
so
right?
That is one, and also like the t-shirts. Because LaVon helped me design some really nice t-shirts. So I think now with my website being created, and now I'm learning how to properly set up my systems in what I need to do. It is exciting and moving forward to the brand. And again, like learning the StreamYard and doing some more of these so they know. Especially the ultimate guide to the living the best divas life. I got that idea from you during our January session, the fresh start. It's stuck in me, and it looks so fabulous. I said, taking that because we want to have that ultimate life in discovering who we are.
And so I love it when it comes to branding. Number one, your foundation of your brand, but then new offers for your audience, right? That ultimate guide is a new offer. But then you go, I am working with women. I'm also going to work with men. That's a new target group, right? That's what you think about with your brand. But then you go, okay, I do virtual things with women. I want them to have their physical products. I want them to have their book. I want them to have their mug. I want to create merchandise. How are you building out the brand in a way that's going to work for you and your community too? Which gives me the opportunity to see if I can bring LaVon's website we've been lovingly working on for the last couple of weeks. Can we talk about some of your brand products, LaVon, and the motivation behind them?
Okay, so what we worked on, like LaShonda and I started this project, and I'll hold her up. This is the Serenity Journal. So it actually
zoom in on that. There you go.
There you go. It started out as a journal. So we started the journal, was it in the fall? I believe the fall when I came in. So we made a journal, and this journal was actually inspired by my summer travel. So I traveled with a lot of my sister friends, 3 different vacations back to back. And every lady was saying, I wish we could take this back with us. And so it led to the Serenity series because I thought about how often as women we travel, but sometimes when we arrive at the destination, we are like so worn out. And I thought about Serenity is something that we can carry with us at each moment. So we started out with the journal, and it just really grew from there. So this has really been a work in progress, which I want to share with you that when you're building your brand, it does not happen overnight. So LaShonda started this in October, and we're still adding because I think last week we just did the card deck, and I love just building it out. So, I've been able to create little stickers to go with the water bottle. I created beautiful affirmation cards for the ladies to take with them. And just to
bring those up.
Them up. Okay, there you go.
So, there we go.
So I created matching affirmation cards, and as I shared with you earlier, there are note cards. So it's really about building the experience, and I actually have a little in each bag that's called a power. So you get your Serenity Power Pack. So it's just really building out the experience, and of course, it's going to be a box.
In the box.
So
I love it.
Yeah, so that's the one that we have there. So this is my sample. So one of the blessings of building out a brand is that, it happens in stages. I like to say that it's not overnight. And you get the inspiration really from the people and what's happening around you. So my experience was, how can I put serenity in a box? Because a lot of times when you talk about retreats and vacations, we often wait or we delay. Especially, I'm an educator, so everyone's talking about spring break, spring break. And in my mind, spring break can be any day of the week you want. If you have your box,
Mm,
because you just go to your box here and it can be spring break, because you got something to soak your feet in, you got some affirmations, you got a journal. So that's one
spring
of the
break can
blessings,
be wherever you are.
wherever you are and at that moment, and you don't have to wait for anyone. So that really was the inspiration. So just adding the branded products, and the blessing is about adding branded products is that it taps into different learning experience. Everyone may not want to journal, but they may want to soak their feet. They may want to grab an affirmation. There's tea in this box. They may want a cup of tea, and it allows them to engage when they're ready. So that's what I,
Absolutely.
yeah, and it continues. So it's like when you have the branded products, it's like whatever you did, you get to continue. They won't forget you. That's one
Yeah.
thing. They will not
Now,
forget you.
I was just showing the
Let's
lady.
show
I've got my affirmations card. I always got my Live Vibrantly affirmations cards right here in the office. Now she has a different set, number one. So you
So,
can take one brand product and create variations, right?
yes,
Number one.
yes,
Number
yes.
two, you talked about the fact that at the end of the day, not everybody wants to do journaling. Not everybody wants to do affirmation cards. So you put a little bit of you, a little bit of variation. So
Yes,
there's something for everybody in the community, right?
yes.
Number three, it doesn't all happen overnight. And you're a testament to the fact that we're working on these different activities, creating cards, creating a notebook, creating a planner, creating a journal, and you build as you go. Now, I have this box here. I got this from Sticker Mule. That's the
Mhm.
company that
Love
a lot of
Sticker
the
Mule.
brand products that
Yes,
we
sticker mule,
that I
yes.
teach about.
Sticker
Mm.
Sticker Mule. Show them the products you got through Sticker Mule.
So what I got through Sticker Mule was this beautiful sticker, and their stickers are amazing because they're waterproof, ladies. You can use on your bottle. And this beautiful bag. Now, see, I know it was intended for food, but when you had
Put
lived,
whatever you want in it.
when you had lived vibrantly, it becomes your little pouch. So this is your travel pouch. So when you get, it's a lot of stuff in there, like teas and little things, tea and stuff. So yes,
I've
oh
got the baby version.
yes, I love them. Oh, for your cards. How are they for your cards?
Yes,
How
yes.
cute. So yes, Sticker Mule allows you to be creative. I love it.
I've got a whole
How
collection of them up
cute.
in here. And I hadn't unboxed it yet, so I figured why not? If you
Wow.
want a $10 credit, okay, if you want to try out Sticker Mule, you can do packaging, you can do buttons, magnets, stickers, tape. If you want to try it out, write this down, SM10. You can go to sistasense.com/SM10 and get a $10 credit. You upload your graphics, they ship it for free to you. Okay. So
Yes.
I do teach when we do our sessions how you can create your branded products. And we're going to do some more branding tonight. We got one more class tonight, believe it or not. We're going to create a branded class. Okay. But you can work virtual, but then you can have physical versions of your products. Okay. And I want you to be able to build that out. So even Lucina, you have the Divas Journal, you've
Yeah.
got the t-shirt. What other products do you have underneath that brand?
Well, right now I just have a T-shirt, the mug, and just the the journal.
The
One of
journal.
the things I was talking to Lavana is the pens, like a nice, beautiful pen that you can always walk with you. Because my husband's into pens. Lavana, he's into getting good quality pens. And
Yes.
I myself, when you're sitting and you're writing, it's just a different feel.
Discountmugs.com. That's where I get my
That's
branded content for Sister Sense.
okay.
Yes.
Good.
Mugs, all the things. I love them. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that
Yeah,
company.
we use it for our company. Yep.
Discountmugs.com. They are really solid. So yes, pens, everything that you can potentially put in there to create an experience for your audience. One of the companies that I use quite a bit for e-commerce is Shopify. And I think I showed you all on the screen Cynthia's branded teas. Here we go. Let me see if I can pop that
The
on the
mac and
screen.
tea.
So I helped Cynthia put her teas on a Shopify store. Let me see if I can pop that on the screen so that you guys can see it here as well. Okay, so this is her Shopify store. Okay, and as we talk about branding, we're going to talk about different tools that you can use to work on creating your brand. I love to build my websites on WordPress, but when it comes to selling physical products, Shopify, baby, it's Shopify for me. Okay, so we put this together so that people can she can ship out the teas to people who want them. Here's my Shopify store, sistersense.shop. So sistersense.shop. And in here, I have my planners, my workbooks, my bags. I don't think I put my t-shirts up here, but these are all physical products. Okay. And what's great about Shopify is that number one, you can connect it to platforms so you don't have to do any work. I don't physically ship any of these things. Okay. My back end is lulu.com. They order on Shopify, they get shipped by Lulu. For the books. For the bags, I use Printful. And so with Shopify, you can connect different back end merchants so that they can use print on demand to put your products out there and you can get paid for your creativity. Okay.
So, excuse me, LaShonda, when you finish, sorry.
Sure.
You're talking,
No.
I'm loving this Shopify merchant. So that means you can say you put a diva sash or something like that, right? You don't have to get the product. This Shopify connects you with different third parties or have to do all the work, and that's it.
Yeah, my books, I've connected the Lulu app. So the books get published through Lulu, and the products, my bags, my shirts, my pillows, all the physical products get published through Printful.
Okay.
And now all I have to do is track the orders. If anybody has any questions, I can take care of it, but it is very streamlined. And you can even integrate Shopify with your Amazon marketplace as well. There's a lot that you can do with your Shopify store. So my client, Cynthia, number one, I'm working on her WordPress website, but then she also has her Shopify website for her tea. So there are different e-commerce platforms that you find you may want to use as you're building out your brand. Okay. But don't get ahead of yourself, because if your money is funny, okay, you're working on a budget. Focus on what you can use right now, right? What you can invest in right now, but definitely look at these other resources as things that you can use in the future. Those of you coming on in here, feel free to share this out, tag a business bestie. Let me know what you're gaining from our conversation today. If you haven't registered for our free 3-day virtual summit, you can do so at sistersense.com/summit. Number one, register for free. You can get the schedule, and I can give you links and resources from all of these amazing ladies. And if you want to invest in the replays and or working with me, definitely take a look at one of the momentum bundles that is also available for you too. Okay. Adonia says, I got one of her wonderful t-shirts, goodie bags, which I absolutely love. I love the support and ladies being able to purchase products from each other as part of the circle. We need that, right? We need to be able to share and not feel that you're in a group where other people are gonna take your ideas, or they're gonna say, oh, why are you doing that? That's not good. They're going to support you. They're going to lift you up. They're going to invest in you. And you want to look for communities that can do that for you, right? So,
and that is so important, because when I do my Mother's Day or my women's events, I contact LaVon. I'm like, LaVon, I need a specific stuff. I need this. And she will just have that creative juices and create these amazing affirmations or whatever. So not only, improving my own self and knowing that we have a community to support each other is so important as women. And listen, like I said, there's over how many millions of people in this world. There are a million different types of t-shirts or whatever. You choose what suits you. Support the people who are supporting you.
This is one of LaVon's amazing I Am t-shirts.
Oh,
Absolutely beautiful. I love it to pieces. You know, I almost didn't want to take it out the bag so I could just smell that way forever. But you know, eventually you just gotta take it out and be
well,
like,
you know what? That's part of the branding. When you talk about self-care, I just want women to just, when they receive their packages, to feel like, ah, I'm queen for the day and just forever. Because I think we need to get used to just receiving good things. So I
yes,
put just as much time in the wrapping as I do making the product.
products.
Yeah, that's
It's an
part of the
experience.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
part of the branding too. That's the experience that, when
yeah.
people open that bag, like I had a lady say, I like what was in the bag, but she said, but it was just the wrapping paper and then the shiny bag and then the little pieces that you put in there. So that's part of the
Yes.
branding too.
It is.
Yeah.
It's such a good point because we just talked about Lucina mentioned having an event and she said I had 10 ladies come out and there was she said the ambiance,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so being able to bring that word into virtual, or
Mhm.
if you're shipping a product into physical, how
Yeah.
can you bring that experience in that makes the
Yeah.
brand all the better, all the deeper, right?
Yes.
So I want you to think about for yourself. You going out? Just you have your phone? Okay. Um, I know he's taller than me and he's knocking on 18, but I need to know before you leave my house.
Mhm. No, you're supposed to, hon.
You better get back home before the porch lights go on. I don't care how
And
tall
that's probably early. That's probably early where you are.
it's light now because he know when it's starting to get dark. I'll be like, "Where you going? Where you going?" Yeah, yeah. That's just the
Oh.
mommy and me. But I'm like that with you ladies. Y'all come out and you be like, "Okay, well, I'm going to the hotel room. Call me when you get in the room."
You say call when you get home. Send me the text when you get home. Yes.
Text me every step of the way. Let me know where you are right now. You just gotta
Well,
be there.
Levon, we do have with each other too. You got home yet? Call me. Good night.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just love being able to create spaces like this when we can talk about our individual brands and the
Yeah.
things that we've put together. Now, when it comes to branding, is there one thing that you are really excited about learning in the last couple of years? You can either answer that question. One thing about just branding or creating a product, and you were like, I've been wanting to dot, dot, dot. Or is there something about your brand that you feel like this is everybody knows you for that? Two different questions, but you can answer either way.
Well, the thing is with me, everybody knows me in my neighborhood as the diva, which is
Yeah.
like so everywhere I go and I just say Lucy, I'm like, what about the diva? And so it has stuck on me wherever I go in that aspect. So even I remember I was in Trinidad for the holiday and I'm walking down the street in the city, and this woman said, Diva? I was like, oh, in Trinidad. I'm like,
How you carry yourself.
I know you.
Yeah.
She said, because I follow you. And I wasn't sure. Is when I said Diva and you turn around. That was so. I want my name to be a household name, knowing Diva, I'm a beautiful Black woman, or just a woman who appreciates who she is.
Yeah.
And knowing in through her discovery, you're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs, but you're
Yes.
gonna come back and be your true self. And
Mhm.
that's how I want women, or even the men, as we talk about the divas, in valuing their manhood, their original self, as who you're created to be. So that is one of the things that I talk about. I want to be like the Coca-Cola, the Pepsi. Every anywhere you see the diva.
And we have each of us have the ability to create a brand that
Yes.
becomes a household name. Everyone
Yes.
has the ability to do that. Levon, what about you?
You know what, now see, when you said the Coca-Cola, now it made me laugh because I thought, now I'm dating myself, but you ladies should back me up. Remember the Vidal Sassoon commercial, and they chose someone, and so on, and so on, and so on. Remember that? So, so it's like one person just another. So I think I've been thinking of the Vidal Sassoon commercial.
Commercials, it's a whole vibe when you think
It's a
about
whole
it.
Yes, it is. And so one of the things is that I love what I do, sharing, wellness with women. But I want the Vidal Sassoon effect where they tell someone and so on and so on.
And
Because
so on and so on.
yeah, because what the ladies learn, even if they get a box, I want them to create their circles as well, that it doesn't stop here, that if you got a vibrantly box, that you can take this box and get 3 of your sister friends around, and we expand, and then our circles grow, because I'm one person, but I think one lady knows 10 ladies. So imagine if one lady had a box or something and they created their sister circle and they said, ladies, let's get together and lift each other up. So
Yes.
that's the effect. That's really the next thing I'm really excited about, is really taking what I know and showing women, how can you use this to create your circles? Because you know people as well, that the things that we learned from you, LaShonda, just taking that and expanding it. So I think of Vida Alsace when that come, and I know it's so old that I know it's so
No, but
old.
it's such a good example, because one of the things that people aren't understanding, there's so many little things you can do to work on your brand visibility and your sales, right? Word of mouth marketing is always tried and true, and so on and so on and so on. Us
Yeah.
right now, can I just say real talk? I
Yep.
did my Fresh Start program, and Levon said to me, LaShonda, I need to gift this program to some of my ladies because they need to be in here. Lucina is here right now because of Levon, because of the and so on and so on, and the beautiful effect of when we have our individual circles and then we start to intertwine them, right? So you want to think about, are you creating the kind of brand that, number one, people want to be associated with, but then they want to tell their friends about and bring them into the tribe as well? Because if you struggling, you can't be the only person talking about you and what you do. Right? There's got to be other people on board who are talking about you, so you get that and so on effect.
Yeah. And it's so good like that. And like one of the things I think with this sisterhood is so important is like supporting each other. Like I'd say, you know what? If I know I cannot make a diva box, why can't I have my sister circle support me, support her so she can lift one? So when I know I have my little diva box, this is what I want in my diva box, this is what I want here. Support each other. So as we grow, we're just uplifting and becoming successful together.
Now, there are 3 words to think about here. Number 1 is referrals. Are you getting them? Do you need to work on that? Number 1. Number 2, strategic partnerships. Leverage the people around you. And number 3, I think entrepreneurs don't use this enough, is organizations. Think about the fact that amazing business owners like Lucina have organizations. They work with groups of people, right? So you're trying to figure out how to sell to 10 people when this one person can put you in front of 100 people.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right?
It's so true.
How you can expand your brand, not just through your own bootstrap marketing, popping and locking on social media, right? So we don't got to be on these TikTok streets. I'm on the other side of 40. I don't need to be doing all of this, okay? I can do it.
Oh, Lord.
So outside of your strategic digital marketing, are you working on referrals? Are you working on strategic partnerships? And you're looking for organizations that have your target market within them so that you have more people to market through one versus you one trying to market to many. Okay?
It is so true. I remember last year, Levon, I'm like, what am I going to get? I said, Levon, I'm looking. I called her and I said, where'd my batteries go? My kids unplugged my plug.
The babies.
I'm like, why is it low? So like when I was thinking of my event for the mothers, I'm like, Levon, I need for you to create something for me. And I said, you use your imagination, you use whatever it is, just create it and get it to me. And I'm telling you, I called some of the women, took out pictures and sent back to Levon. So dressed up pretty sexy in their outfits and showing the self-care piece. And that's what, because I always tell Levon, people don't realize, even though Levon is doing self-care as a self-care expert and I'm doing, it has nothing to do with that. How can we support each other in this journey? So she's great at creating these things. Yes, I'm good at creating other things. My thing is having food and talking and sharing. That's my thing. When these women received those boxes and those cute little gift bags, and they were like, wow. I mean, it was wow. And that's what we need to do. I'm constantly telling other women in other businesses, if we support each other, we all can live.
We all
Yes.
can live.
Yes. And can I
Absolutely.
I just wanted to add that when we do that, we also have to remember, ladies, that we're actually making someone else's life easier. So don't think, because when Lucina said, I got all this stuff to do, I'm planning. But when she asked me to do the boxes, that was something that I was able to support her and take that off her plate. So ladies, also think about that as we're, you know, connecting with organizations, we're actually making something easier for them. They don't have to go searching all over the internet, get me 50 things. Because she was like, I can go to here and order this. And then she said, can you put that box together? And I said, yes, I can. So that's another way to be encouraged to share our services.
And
And
that's a
that's a
good
great
thing.
marketing strategy as well. How can
Yeah.
you positioning yourself as someone who's going to make other people's lives easier, right? So I even talked about today different types of digital products you can produce, right? The A's, the B's, and the C's. One of them were D downloads, right? And I said, you can create different downloads. I think Kathleen, she had a great question. She said, can I put together a template in Microsoft Word? Absolutely. You can put together anything that you can say, I did the heavy lifting. Now you could just make some minor adjustments and use it is the foundation for a template, right? So for example, this is the 12-week workbook. This is from a template that I created so that my ladies can create their own planners, create their own workbooks, and you are knocking off half the work so people can get it done in half the time, right?
Yes.
So you think about your brand. What are the benefits? What sets you apart from other people, and how you can market that brand in ways that are easier for you, right? Because brand marketing, making it easy, is something that I want you to be able to do. Now, let me just double check the time here before we go into the next session. What I want you to think about as well is building your brand out into bigger experiences for your audience, right? And you guys, you've been really good about talking about these pieces of your brand that you've put together. Now, there are different brand activities that I like to do. Challenges, for example, love to do challenges, number one. And also creating, I would say, little micro projects where I'll say, okay, this week, we are going to work on a planner. This week, we're going to, so a little micro project that you can work on and then take that and get some sort of result from it. What are some sort of brand activities that, and we were talking about virtual events just a while ago. What are some brand activities that you do with your tribe?
Well, for me, would it be when I'm doing my face live, I take the book and I choose the different chapters to read, and they can do that. And I find when I do that, like Levon talks about, okay, we'll touch. I feel like, okay, today's a great day about talking about your authentic self. What is so authentic about you? People use that word so loosely sometimes. Does it really mean honesty? Does it really mean being true to yourself? And how do you see that? And that's what I've been doing, taking things from the journal. I'm like, I hope you have your journal. Go get it. If not, go to Amazon and get it now. Or Levon, they'll put my information, because when you're talking on Facebook, so you can't even write in. And they will do that for me, again, as support. I think when I'm doing that, it is better for the person to realize, what, I know I want to be able to, in my book, when I open a page, I know exactly when I see that page, I can talk to you about that and have that conversation without like, so that is how I see my branding. Because as I said to you, I'm rebranding myself and how I put myself out there, and I'm loving it because I am committed. Levon will tell you, even if I miss my 9:39, I'm still on Facebook for like 2 seconds. Sick or no sick, I am there. Because
9 o'clock is my bedtime, so
it's a commitment. You gotta show up, Shauna. I think showing up shows your true people that you are there.
We show up. Listen, I say, y'all pray for me because I'm doing this summit for 3 days straight, 12 hours a day. So, I'm showing up for y'all. Then I'm going to pass out for a week, but I could do that. Okay.
So you're going to be hiding from us. That's what you're trying to say. Don't be hiding.
Don't call me. Don't ask me for nothing. I will be passed out for a week after these 3 days.
Because it's mental. It's mental.
Shauna, where you at? I'm gonna get on social media. I'm looking for LaShonda. LaShonda Henry hiding from
Under the covers, pulling up the covers like, don't come to me, I'm tired. I
Oh
need help.
my gosh, it's a
But
lot.
what about you, LaVon, when it comes to your brand? Some activities that are really signature to you.
one of them. I have a couple, but one of them is I I do something called a talking tea. And that is where I actually take the words on my t-shirt and they become living conversations. Now, I did it with the mug, and it was really the fill your cup moment. So the mug had 13 words, and I showed ladies that it was more than a mug. And as I said earlier, everyone may not be into journaling, but I took those 13 words and I showed ladies how this whole cup can create an experience. So we did affirmations with the words, we did prayers, we did conversations with ourselves, we did like collages. So I created that experience from one product, and really it was just to show that the wellness piece does not have to be hard, that you can take a mug with 13 words and create a whole experience. So that's one of the things I've been doing. And I'm looking forward to doing something live this year. So I had to say it on here so I actually do it. So we're having a
We're
live
here to support.
having a live conversations from the cup, you know.
That's good.
So Lucina Herbert
Now,
will say, okay, so when's the live?
Yes. You gotta make sure she do
I
it because I'll be in her case.
you know, I am a firm believer in letting your community know, a trusted community, because not everybody needs to know your business.
Yeah.
A trusted community know what you're doing for accountability, right? And I wanted to actually show Cynthia's teas because she is working on her tea brand. Here's her Shopify store, Remarkability, right? Because she's the first lady of tea, and her brand is all about resting. And the reason why I wanted to pop her store back on the screen real quick is because you talked about talk and tea, right?
Mhm.
And you talked about the mugs, but also that you brought in your t-shirts, right? So that whole concept of tea drinking, but t-shirts, completely different brand, right? And whether you're working with somebody who's a creative and they can help you with ideas, or you just got those amazing digital downloads and you're like, yes, right? When you think about Lucina, she said, listen, I've got divas for the women. I'm going to have divos for the men, right? So you think about how you can create these unique brands. There's so many ideas. I think we are never without an opportunity to create our own unique spin on something, right? So
Correct.
Cynthia's Remarkability teas and your talking tea, you can have that same word, but different meaning, different vibe, different product, just about how you spin the brand to make it work for you.
You know, it's so true because when I said divos, I've been using the word divos since we were creating our organization. I remember my first pamphlet I wrote, I said my divas and my divos. And I remember when I recently said to him, divos? I said, yes, it's an unusual word, but it has so much value when you understand what it is. The same when people think of divas, they're like, oh, divas are snotty. No, it's how you break down the concept of the words.
Defining it your terms.
Yes.
Not other people's terms, your terms. And I think that that is truly a beautiful thing. As you guys are listening, feel free to share your brand. Feel free to drop into the chat, whether you are live or on the replay side, what your business brand is, number one. And as I mentioned before, make sure that you join the summit at sistasense.com/summit. So you can see the schedule. This is day one, and we've got 2 more days to go. You can see the different sessions that we're doing. Every day from 5 to 6, we've got some amazing panels. And I'm just always excited that my Sister Sense Circle jumps on here. When I say, hey, y'all ready? They're like, when? I'm here.
Yes, I was like
4 hours away. They're like, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Because I was like, should I show up? Do I have to show up here or no? Do I have to? I call LaVon. I'm like, LaVon, where are you? He said, I'm like, do I have to show up or do I have to listen? I'm not even sure. But I just took a bold move and said, you know what? Click on this. And I'm glad I did because it was such a wonderful Friday afternoon conversation. I'm sorry I can't be there tomorrow because I have a whole 3 events to go to and do and other things. But Sunday, I'll make sure I come in, pop in. And then my
I
mom
love
just came from Trinidad, so we spending some time. And then Sundays, St. Patty Day. I'm a St. Patrick's Day girl. I must have my corned beef and my everything,
Oh.
my Irish soda bread and everything too. So, but this was really so amazing, having conversations, sharing, not feeling threatened by whatever's being said,
Yes.
learning and building and trusting,
Mhm.
and knowing that you have a group that you can call and say, listen, Lavon, girl, I need this. LaShawn, I need help in this now. And making the time to really support us. And this is perfect. It's Women's History Month. Women's
Yes.
History Day. But
Yes.
this is Women's History Month, and showing other women, it doesn't matter. Our ideas, our opinions, our thoughts are so important to one another.
It
This
does.
is so
It's-
amazing.
it really is about you having the space to bring your tribe in and inviting the right people around you to come into the tribe too, right? These are my ladies. This is my Sister Sin Circle. I said to you guys, I'm actually going to be closing the doors for the Sister Sin Circle until next year. But if you do want to register, you can do that over at sistersense.com/circle. It's the monthly mentorship and accountability community. So pretty much every week, I've got things in there for us to do when it comes to monetization, content creation, and sales. So do you have to do everything every week? No, as these ladies know. But I'm always up in there doing something. So when you got me, right, you got something to do. Now, when it comes to your brand, I know that Lavon was ready. She's got quite a few things in the background there. Is there anything that you didn't get to share as far as your branding? I'm just curious. Anything? Any other
Okay, so I'll show you. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe the glare. So I also created a puzzle. So I just want to remind you, like, you can be just as creative. So Serenity has a puzzle. This is like the never-ending box. And LaShonda started, and she also has a little blanket too. So I have a blanket that goes. And this came from LaShonda. You started as something called that everything bundle that you threw everything.
Yes.
Everything box. So the only thing I haven't created yet is the t-shirt. It's like everything. It's gonna be like the never-ending box. But ladies, it's like a retreat. So that's what it is. So
Your
yes,
personal retreat.
yeah.
Make sure you go to livevibrantly.com and you get the Serenity box. I'm going to make sure that all the ladies' links are on the Momentum Summit page.
Okay.
So what you don't see now, trust me, you'll see within the next few days so that you can have access to the amazingness that is Tiffany, that's Lucinda, that is Lavon, and all the other awesome entrepreneurs that are going to come on here and share. Anything else that we didn't see? Because I know you got something.
I probably got some more on here, but
So she's our creativity when we come to the divas, and then in exploring and getting what you want. The beautiful fuchsia boxes with the wonderful things that you can have for yourself, and creating that, because one of the things about me is a discovering box, because I know in my boxes probably might be, I don't know if I'll be the X-rated.
Who doesn't love a good box?
What's funny too, ladies, and that we can connect in different ways. So one of the things I asked Lucina for was to go with this box, which you don't see. I said, can you make a special recipe? So it's like, connecting in different ways.
Like having a signature drink, a cocktail.
Yeah, I will do that because I have a beautiful pink drink.
Yep, I said, can you add a recipe or a nice dish that the ladies can have? So she's going to create a special recipe that ladies can download. So that's another way for us to connect. So it's so many ways. And I just wanted to thank you, LaShonda, for always creating the space, because as you see, we do totally different things, but working with you, it doesn't matter.
Everybody can find something that is important and unique about your brand, but then something that creates an overlap, right? So one of the things that I'm going to do is grab my little bag here so I can show you guys some brand products. And get ready, y'all, because we got one more brand product to work on tonight. All right. Y'all. I got my 9-to-5 entrepreneurs. Some of you guys didn't do the digital projects we did this morning. We worked on an audio offer and building out a bundle. Now, remember, I'm doing this summit all day, every day for 3 days, absolutely free. So take the opportunities to watch the replays while you can, because I am delivering them. Okay. but you should get the Momentum bundle so you can get the replays and you can get the templates. Because when we do our final class tonight, I'm going to give you a template, all right? And that is included inside the Momentum bundle. But a great thing that LaVon mentioned when it comes to building your brand, it doesn't happen overnight, right? And you can build pieces over time. So I've created, number one, a workbook and planner template. Here's my Momentum 12-week planner, okay? That's one. I'm going to show you several products, and this is about building out your brand. When the ladies came out, we worked on little card decks, okay? It's my baby deck, okay? This is my baby deck. I'm going to make a bigger version of this. I cannot wait until LaVon gets hers. I want her to do a video so we can show. Literally, I think it was maybe a week or two ago, we were working on getting her card deck done and shipped out. So then you can expand the brand on that level. Then I have this, which is the Commit Challenge. So I took some of the things that I do for Momentum and made a smaller version of it for the ladies in my community. So I want you to think about the bigger offer. Then how can you create the same piece of content in different options, right? You think about people who are their speakers, but then they have videos, they have a book, they have different things that you can consume. Expand your brand by thinking about different products, okay? We have the physical card deck template, but I also have a digital card deck as well. Then being able to have a signature book. This is my $7 Solutions ebook. It's physical, but it's also digital, okay? And we're going to talk about self-publishing. Several of the ladies are going to touch on that. And as you can see already, right? Diva's Journal, LaVon's self-published products, her Serenity Guide. You can do this, okay? Not just digital, but digital self-publishing is about taking the digital products like this, an ebook, and making it physical as well, okay? So I want you to think about card deck, planner, workbook, right? What are some branded products that you know going into this year you want to add to your business? Not going to happen overnight, but if you can intentionally create a list, like Lucina says, look, this year I'm rebranding, intentionally create a list, then you can work on the different projects. She says, right now in the morning, I'm getting up, I'm working on my ultimate life guide. And she already knocked out the foundation of her Devos journal. I worked on with helping her with the template, and it's in production notes. So you're going through the steps of working on your brand as you work on other things. She has her non-for-profit. We all got a lot going on.
Yes.
Right? LaVon works a 9 to 5. We all got a lot going on. But when you strategically take little pieces of it and you say, like LaVon said, okay, LaShonda, 90 minutes, let's do it, girl. Well, we knock it out today, right? We create time, we put it on the calendar, and we knock it out. You would be amazed at how much you produce in a few months, if not by the end of the year.
And LaShonda, I also work on the train. So, while I'm on the train, look, I mean, I'm watching my surroundings, but I'm like, what can I get done in 15 minutes of it? It's an hour. It's an hour and a half ride. I'm like 15 minutes of it going to produce some content.
There you go.
And even this week when we met up, I had scheduled an hour session from 8:30 to 9:30. And when I walked into the school, I found out that I was blessed with 8th grade in the morning. And I said, LaShonda, I got 20 minutes. That was the quickest 20 minutes, but we had a whole page. I was like, wow, that was the quickest 20 minutes. And let me tell you, ladies, we had a whole page. And I was like, God is good. 20 minutes, we had a whole
lot.
Section. Yes. So
the plan was mapped out. You'd be surprised how much you can get when you're intentional within a 30-minute period. And I mentioned to you guys, when you get Momentum, there is an offer where you can literally get 3 one-on-one sessions with me for practically free. I'm just being honest, because what I charge, nobody charging that. To be able to talk to somebody with just, I say I'm not cocky, I'm confident. To be able to talk to somebody with 20 years of experience that can tell you something based on a wealth of knowledge for practically nothing, I want to, because I know I started off with nothing. I always like to create experiences that are accessible to people independent of budget. That's just me, but that's a part of the brand experience, right? What are your tried and true values? What do you believe in? How does that bleed into your brand? These are some things you want to think about. So are you going to work on new offers, or you are going to diversify your brand? I'm going to show you, this is my Fresh Start series. The marketplace is showcasing all of these amazing women like Lavon and Rhonda and Afi, putting their products in my marketplace guide, and then sharing the Fresh Start system in this one. So there's so many ways for you to take your brand and expand it out. We are going to figure out the way that works for you, but hopefully today gave you some inspiration and real life conversation from these amazing women on how to work on virtual events and brand products. We've got 2 more panels tomorrow and then another 2 on Sunday. Okay. So y'all are not going to be without information when I'm done with you after these 3 days. I'm telling you, we're just getting started.
This is so amazing. You know, you talk about doing, and I'm like, Lavon, before you came on and we had that conversation with Tiffany about doing virtual summits or virtual or online or, you know, in person. And my mind was just running about doing the summits, you know, the Diva Summit. I talk about the ultimate guide to becoming your Diva self, and doing that also in combination with, you know, I do my Friday. I know I'm so committed to my Friday night, favorite Friday Diva nights, and doing that because I'm seeing, because we really need to create those safe spaces, you know. And even my journey, when I did this Divas journal, how am I discovering who I am? You know, what steps am I taking in my, and that's why I'm so happy spring is here again. Because Lavon, no, I walk to the beach and I do my stuff at the beach and I involve my audience to see the water and just be still and know. And I'm saying to myself, you know, we are change makers, you know, we are transformers.
Yes.
And when you have someone who can speak a good word or give you that gift within yourself, it is so amazing.
Yeah.
And this is so awesome. I'm so grateful that Lavon blessed me and I was able to come in and learn and be able to give people, like, this year has been such a wonderful blessing. And Lavon, I was telling LaShonda about our special blessing, and it was finalized because our president signed it, so it was good. Our president of the United States signed it. So as I'm looking at all these amazing things happening in my life, before LaShonda, I used to have a difficult time separating myself from my work as a director, and then
A lot of us do.
and then I realized I'm me, you know, and all the things that I have can bless whoever it is in where he or she needs to be.
Yes.
So I have come to realization this year, and ladies, if you're listening, we have to really be true to our hearts, our minds, our bodies, our soul, and even our spirit, in how we see things and how we feel things.
Yes.
And take the chance. You know, I've been so bold coming back from Fresh Start, because January was a year of just blooming and just boosting, you know. And I came back in such a way that I finished up the Diva, and you helped me and getting the things back in action and getting me and taking care
Even in the middle, because you called me and said, listen, I got COVID, so I'm out.
Yes. In the middle, Satan tries to be busy, but no. And that's what, and even in that time, like, I've never felt this COVID, this third shot of COVID gave me a whole, I tell Lavon, it gave me a whole new aspect of my life and who I am and what I'm doing. And yes, I deserve to prioritize myself. And you ladies, if you're looking out there, we are always caregivers, but the best caregiver is to be a caregiver of you.
Yes. Amen. Yep.
So, you know, LaShonda, thank you for bringing us here to have these real conversation, real businesswoman conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it be finding yourself again because you have to separate yourself from your business, from your job, from your children, your status as a mom, your status as a teacher. We know, being a mom to 1 or 3 or 4 and a teacher to like 100, that's a whole other level. Because my son is 17 now, but when I used to have to do them teacher work days and they go in and I said, God bless you. I'd be like, no, come to me. Don't come to me.
No,
like, no, not today.
This is truly a blessing.
Just counting down the minutes. So God bless teachers. God bless everybody, understanding, differentiating you from the things that you do, especially as women. So very important. So I want to thank you ladies so much for joining. If there is a final word or a resource that you want to share, drop it now here, and then we'll wrap up this session. And I've got one more session for us to do today.
Wow, you're busy the whole day tonight.
I told you, I'm going hard, 12 hours a day for 3 days.
So when is your last 12 hours? Now? Not now?
No.
So no, one more session from 7 to 9, and then I'm done for today.
Oh my gosh, I have to leave you in that other session because I have to get prepared for my other session at 9 as well. So
girl, I'm good. But yeah, I wanted to be able to create that long of a day because everybody's different. Some people work in the day. And then it's the nighttime that they're like, listen, girl, I put the kids to bed. The husband is fed. Okay, let me kind of come now. I couldn't do it in the morning time. Right. Let me do it now. So I'm about to give everybody as much energy as I can. But before wrapping up to do that one, like I said, any final words, resources, messages that you guys want to share, feel free to do that now.
I mean, for me, in the whole discovering of who I am, the final was just discover you. Discover you.
Discover you. Beautiful message. Taking the time to do that this week, this month, this year, and discovering you is a beautiful message from Lucina. And I'm going to make sure that you guys have access to her mini webpage that we've put together so you can learn more about her and all the beautiful things that she's doing in her community. LaVon?
And I just want to thank you and thank everyone. And what I want to share with you is that when we talk about living vibrantly, is that we get to choose and we get to redefine self-care. And that's one of the things that I'm really excited about. It's not one size fits all, but we get to redefine it. And I was grateful to share the different products just to show you that you can take care of yourself in so many ways. So just redefine self-care. And find those moments as we talked about, because you know what? We all have the time and you are worthy of that time.
Absolutely. It's interesting because you get to create things for like one target audience, right? But then you also, if you've got the brain power for it, you can create for multiple groups like divas versus divos, or creating a self-care box with a little bit of everybody in there. So somebody can walk away and say, I want the affirmations, I want the massage, I want the tea, I want the breathing work, I want the journaling. Something in there is for me.
Yes.
So think about how you can diversify, whether it be your target audience or the theme of the content you produce. Even me, today I said, you know what? I'm going to show you how to make a bundle. I'm going to show you how to do a webinar. I'm going to show you how to do an audio so that either you can put it all together or you can pick one thing that works well for you. Okay. Think about how you can apply that strategy to what you do. So you are diversifying and creating something meaningful to the people around you. All right. So thank you, ladies, so much. Yay for participating. Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially 6:56. Give me 5 minutes and I'll jump back on here so we can start our final session for today with your girl. Any questions, feel free to email Sister Sense, or when you're on the sistersense.com website, you can click the gray tab on the right to leave me a voice message. If you're just coming on in, turn on alerts and notifications so you can see when I'm live, so you can jump on here live with me. Tell your business besties. 3 days, the Momentum Virtual Summit. Digital marketing and sales for women entrepreneurs like us who are looking to reach one. As I like to say, each one reach one, and we will all make it to the top, right? So let's do it. Let's support one another. Mwah. Thank you so much, ladies, for giving us your time. I'll be right back here in 5 minutes, y'all. Till next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Yeah.